Hello and welcome. So first thing I want you guys to notice is if you look on the top side of the screen, there is a skull with a 3 under it, and that changes every 12 seconds. It's a countdown to when the Supreme Champion is decided. And when it hits 0, it will choose a Supreme Champion, and for some reason, it's supposed to be a minute long for when you'll get a message like a minute earlier saying a Supreme Champion will be decided in 1 minute. But then each interval between each, it goes from 6 down to 0. So it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And between each number, it's actually a 12-second interval. And between 1 and 0, there's actually a 18-second interval. And you can see here that I was actually chosen, but as a contender instead of a Supreme Champion, meaning only 30 seconds. And for some reason, I saw that he became a champion. I thought only one person could have it, so I tried attacking him, and I didn't even notice that I got scammed out of like a super attack and strength flask, as well as a range pot flask. Well, it wasn't a flask, but you can see in the top right side of my inventory, I get the three. I don't know what you call them, but you know those three weapons you get there. And for quite some time, I didn't know that I was actually invincible. And it seems that when you're invincible, your HP keeps replenishing. I don't think you actually have to worry about food because your HP replenishes even though you hit 0, which is kind of weird. And when you hit 0, you gotta like attack again because each time you hit 0 and die, it actually stops your character from moving. And you can see that I'm sticking to the northwest area. This is because I didn't want to go in the middle where everybody could see me, and I wanted to stick secluded areas so that I could test out the weapons. And they don't seem to hit that well. They hit through prayer. I think they ignore any protection prayer they're using. So when I was using the maul, well, I think it was a maul, but the melee weapon, I actually was not hitting that decent. I expected like maybe constant 500s, but I guess that's sticking too much. And with staff, there's not really anything good with it, although there was a special attack on the weapon where if you right click the weapon and there is a second option for a spec. And I didn't really get the chance to do this because there is only a 30-second window where I got to do this. So when I was recording this, I wasn't even expecting it because I wasn't looking at the rank on the top. I think it goes there are 3 different ranks that you can have. The first one is the basic one, Scuffler, then you have Fighter, and then you have Contender, then there might be a Supreme Champion. But I haven't gotten that far yet. But I wasn't expecting to have the weapons, so I really you could see that at some point I was just casting Ice Barrage with the maul and I was meleeing with the staff. So that's yeah, that happened. But next time I'll be better prepared for when I have either the contender or the supreme champion. So you'll see that I got teleported away when it was just about to hit 0 seconds, and my HP, prayer, and run energy got all replenished. And I wasn't sure if my spec restore got replenished, but I guess this is a way to prevent somebody from having the invincibility and getting in the mindset that they're invincible and then being able to die right away. That's not really a good thing to happen because it just wouldn't be fun if you're invincible and then the next second you could die right away. So it's kind of nice that they would heal you right after you lose your invincibility powers. So something I noticed with the Crucible is that you get a bounty fee when you go in, and the fee changes depending on how much you have on you. So there's a 525k fee plus a base number of 52k, and that 52k, that thing never changes, but the 525k can change. But if like I bring all my chaotics, let's say Concave 2, and try going in, let's see what the price is, and it's still 525k. So all these items, they're untradeable. So maybe it has to do with the Grand Exchange where you have to bring a tradable item as risk for the price to go down. So let's see if that's true. Click. And as you can see, it did go down. And it seems like it went down maybe 89k or so. And if you price check Dragon Scimitar, it's 89k. Okay, so yeah. So to get the base price down, you could should bank the Dragon Scimitar first. So to get the base price down, you gotta bring 525k of risk on you. It has to be tradable risk. Untradeable risk does not count towards lowering this number. And this 52k, that number cannot change unless maybe it's different level. I'm level 138, so I don't know about lower levels because 52k at lower levels is more money. So if you want to pay less, you actually have to bring 525k worth of items into the Crucible. And this is kind of good because there's no possible way there will be a looter in here because you can actually pick the items you see. There's actually nothing out there right now except maybe some bolts and stuff. And if you're a looter, you have to, and you were to bring nothing on you, you would have to pay 578k. And no looter is gonna pay 578k just to go in and not kill somebody. If you don't kill somebody and you have a target and you leave, you lose that 578k bounty fee. So this is just something to prevent one-itemers, people. Well, actually, you can't one-item. I guess it prevents looters and actually encourages people to bring risk. And if you paid this fee and you left, the money still goes to whoever was your target. Okay, so I want to point out a few things I did wrong in the previous part of this video. I stated that I was a contender. I saw that the time said 30 on the top, so I thought that was 30 seconds, but it wasn't. It was actually a full 2 minutes. Then about the one iteming part, or just getting in, having to pay the 525k, you could actually, if you have a pack yak, you could go in with a pack yak, bring like one item or multiple items that add up to 525k. Then you only have to pay 52k to get in. But still, you have to pay 52k, and if you're not killing anybody, you're gonna lose that money. So with a pack yak, once you go in, you just yak back your risk, and you have nothing on you. You can of course bring food. This does not work with Imp in a box because Imp in a box is a non-combat item, and you cannot take non-combat items into the Crucible, like items such as the Vecna skull, and there's a bunch of other stuff that you cannot bring in. Also, another thing is I've been seeing that, well, I haven't personally been paired with a low level, but I've been hearing that low levels have been being paired up with, like, say, a level 70 got paired up with a level 138, and that's really messed up. I swear there was some part where in the behind the scenes they mentioned where they're using some kind of special method to calculate on how they're going to match each player so that it's going to be fair, and clearly something went wrong. Another thing is the target system. You have people who just want to go in, have a rune fight, or just pure melee fight without any range or magic involved, and you get hybrids paired up with just people in plain rune. And the people in rune, they stand no chance. So it's either they stay and fight and probably lose and end up having to leave anyway, or just leave right away and lose their 52k deposit. The no protect rule in the Crucible is fine. It stops people from one iteming, but then you just have targets who will just go in. They'll try and spec you out, first chance to get, and if it doesn't work, they just go back out, which is awful annoying. It would be nice if you could have an option where you could choose what kind of fight you're looking for. Maybe it's a rune fight, dark fight, or hybrid fight. If you could choose that, it would be much easier to pair people up. And I would love an option where you could choose for it to be a death match where they cannot leave. Both people have to fight to the death. Although it might just be a brew fight, but maybe you could have an option where you're limited to how many brews, or have an option where you're only limited to a certain amount of one-time eat food, such as like Baron sharks or rocktails. But this might be asking for a little too much because if this actually came through where you could customize fight and actually have a death match or just have it as a fair fight, it might just come down to this would probably kill the wilderness. Because in the wilderness you get PJ'd a whole lot. And some people just want to have one-on-one fights and not be interrupted by other people. And if you had a minigame where you could do just that and just win about the same, it it would kill the wilderness. But going back to the topic of the Crucible, this seems to be a minigame directed towards high level players who have some amount of wealth. It isn't really something for people with who are looking for like just rune fights or dark. You could do that at Edgeville. This seems more for people who have like Ganodermic, Claws, and Storm of Arma. So I'm still trying to get the bones. They're the currency for the Crucible. I need 15 of them to repair my glove. And once I get to 15, I can see how much the life point boost is. The only trouble is I wish it would automatically collect it because twice already I got a kill and then I forgot to pick up the bones. and it's on the bottom of the pile, and it also takes up a whole inventory space. So like, what the heck? Why can't it just be like currency on you get one each time you kill somebody, right? So why can't it just automatically add to your currency? So yeah, this has been a video on my thoughts on the Crucible. Currently, it's not that great. I don't expect it to last long because of the pairing system and just how it is to get in. With the Supreme Champions, it's kind of weird that they would make everybody invincible, but I guess it's just like 2 minutes of having fun wrecking people even though everything is safe. Then there's a fee. It's basically 525k plus 52k. The 52k won't change, but the 525k can. It'll go down each time you have carried risk. And it'll minus whatever your carried risk is to the 525k. But it only counts towards tradable items. Untradable, not even the comp cape, counts towards lowering that price. But besides that, so far I like the update. Besides the fact that I'm actually hybriding and clawing people out just so that I can get kills, so that I can repair my glove. But besides that, it's been fun having like I haven't PK'd in a very long time. Besides random times in between, I'm still a little inexperienced at it. It's been well over a year since I've thoroughly been doing PKing. But besides that, thank you for watching and have a nice day.